You need to make this a win for you, so limit your distractions. Close all the browser windows. Maybe you're refreshing your Facebook. Maybe you got your phone open, Snapchatting. Maybe you're sorting mail in the background and you're like, oh, I'm just going to put this webinar in the background. Let me tell you, if you want to make really good money, the kind of money that most people only dream of, you gotta make some sacrifices. And you gotta limit all distractions. And you gotta be able to zone in. So close everything down. Close and lock your doors so you're not having children or spouses or friends or animals pulling from your attention. And let's go deep. Because most people, when they get bonuses, they're like, oh, well, it's a bonus. I don't really care. I don't look at it that way. The bonuses really matter in life. The things that you get in life that you weren't expecting to be a tremendous value that end up being a tremendous value sometimes sneak up on you. And that's what this video series is. I could literally repackage these 3 videos and sell them for far more than you paid for the ebook package. But I'm not going to do that right now, and probably ever, to you, because you already have them. But I put in the focus on this so that you can get the maximum experience. Because if you're not feeling the romantic love in your life and you're not flowing money in your life, and the last webinar when we talk about health and vitality, if health and vitality is not working for you, you're struggling and you're in pain. And when we're struggling and in pain, we unearth the demons. The insecurities start showing up, and we start attacking ourselves and beating ourselves up and making ourselves wrong and bad, and we start hiding from people and running away from really good opportunities because we're worried that somebody might know what's really going on behind closed doors in our life. And that's not helping you. We got to get real together. My goal is to share with you what I've learned from the people making 8 and 9 figures, the individuals who are 8, 9, and 10 figure individuals that I've hung out with. I've spent a whole day and a half with Richard Branson on his private island. I'm in masterminds where I pay $25,000 a year just to learn from these individuals. I moved and relocated my whole life to be around mentors that have taught me what I'm teaching you about wealth and about your career and your focus. So use this time to learn from my mentors and learn from my life, because I can tell you that the material I've gathered here this evening, it didn't come cheap for me. I've spent a lot of money learning about how to make money. I've certainly spent a lot of time, and I've adjusted my entire life to get the principles that you're going to learn tonight. I also want to be transparent with you. At the end of this webinar, I'm going to offer you something that I offered in the last webinar, and that is an opportunity to learn more about a program that I have available. It's a video series that I'm going to be talking to you about. If you decide that you want it, awesome. I just ask that you stay to the end and hear about it if you don't have it already, and see if it's for you, because I'm going to give you a deeply discounted price on it, and it's an incredible investment of your money and your time. So that's that. So just hang in there for the whole webinar to see if that's of interest to you, because really, honestly, if you want to continue to learn from me, then roll your sleeves up and let's do this all the way. If you're on the fence and you're like, I don't know about this Sean guy, I don't know if it's worth my time, then don't waste your time. I make sure that this package that you've purchased for the ebook, that you got a 30-day money-back guarantee, and the program that I'm going to offer you tonight, this video series, has a money-back guarantee as well, because I know how energy works, and that's what we're going to talk about tonight when it comes to money. We're going to talk about the very tangible things that are very kind of concrete, and we're also going to talk about the intangibles, the energy and flow of money that most people think is too woo-woo to discuss. And the reason why I've learned about the money back guarantees is I only want people that have my products that absolutely love them. I only want people that have my products that rave about them. Because if they're like, this sucked, then I need to give them their money back. Because I don't want that energetic exchange going on. I want everybody who pays for what I have to offer to rave about it. If they don't rave, I need to give them their money back. So, that's the preview to the commercial that's going to come at the end of this. Stick around because I know what I have to offer. It's going to be a lot of fun too. So, full transparency, moving on, we're going to be talking about what we're talking about tonight. I'm going to get myself a little sippy sip of water. Alright. Just to see how many people are paying attention, if you will write in the chat box, Sean, I'm ready to create wealth, then I know you're all in, and this is how I keep the flow of energy going, because I'm looking into a camera, and there's no human beings three-dimensionally in front of me like when I'm on stage. And so therefore the only way I know whether or not you're paying attention and the all-in is by your textual response, your keyboard interaction. Alright, so we got Lisa said, Sean, I'm ready to create wealth. Jonathan, let's do this. Sean, I'm ready to create even more wealth. I'm all in. Sean, I'm ready to create wealth. Paying attention. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Alright, so let us fully and deeply begin. You could take a deep breath in through your nose. Hold it. And let it out. Let's do it again. This time, breathe in and fill your lungs as deep and as full as you can, and pretend like it's the first breath of your life. And as you exhale, let out all your stress. And one more. And I do that for myself just as much as I do for you. Creating wealth has very little to do with the math. It has very little to do with the strategy. I've learned the hard way. I've thought that if I could just get that winning secret, that tip, that trick to make money, then I would just take that trick and I'd run with it like a football, and I'd just squeak behind every linebacker that was trying to get me, and I'd run all the way and I'd take it to the house and dive into the end zone and be like, yeah, bitches, I made some money. And by the way, if you don't like a little playful vulgarity, you probably shouldn't follow me, because this is just who I am. And, you know, I found that I was wrong about that way of thinking about money. It's not about the trick or the hint or the secret that then you run it all the way to the end zone, you screw everybody out of the way. No. No. Making money is actually about getting your head right. And it's about getting your head right and in alignment with creating something beautiful. Now, there are many ways to make money on this planet, and I don't know what your skill sets are, your intelligence level, your your desires, your goals. I don't know them, but I do know mine. And I've learned which ones are conducive to making good money. And let me tell you, intelligence is not really high up there. I know a lot of people who aren't that smart that make really big money. And I know a lot of people that are really smart that are broke. And that are upset that they're broke. And tonight we're going to go into some of the things that normally I don't talk about because, well, simply put, I don't like dealing with people's excuses. I don't like sitting around with a group of individuals complaining. Oh, it's hard to make money. Oh, when you get rich, you screw people over. Oh, money is the root of all evil. Oh, when all that comes at me, I close up the conversation. And I turn around and I leave that group of people. So that's not what we're going to do tonight. We're going to take a totally healthy, fun perspective on money and making it in your life. And I want you to get that 80 to 90% of wealth creation is up here and in here. I've learned this from my mentors and I've seen it firsthand. That those nuts and bolts, the little techniques and strategies of what you need to do in your business or with your life to make the money is nowhere near as important as getting in the zone, as being right with yourself. Because I want you to imagine a ball of dog poo-poo. And you're compacting a ball of dog poo-poo. And follow me, it's intentionally by design gross. This metaphor is not pretty, but it's the way people do it. They got this ball of dog poo-poo. And that is their belief systems about money. That is their mindset around money. That is their fears, their excuses, their insecurities around money. And then they go to wealth seminars. And they read books about wealth creation. And they spray perfume on that ball of dog poo-poo. And now it just smells like perfumed flavored dog poo-poo. And everybody's like, oh, and everybody around you is disgusted and they don't want to work with you. They don't want to hire you. They don't want to buy your products and services. They don't want to align with you. They don't want to be affiliates or partners or investors with you because you're just dog poo-poo with some perfume on it. What I need you to be is I need you to be a person that puts down the ball of poo-poo and doesn't try to cover things or mask things. I need you to get this material tonight on a deep, fundamental level. And I teach it myself because I want to go on a deeper level with you. I want to take my business. I mean, shoot, you may be making so much money, but you just want that extra edge? Great. Maybe you're scraping by and you had a hard time even putting together the money for the ebook package. And you're just grateful that this was a bonus. That's fine too. There's no judgment here of where we are financially because that's going to start with rule number one. Rule number one of wealth creation is your net worth is not a determinant of your self-worth. Your net worth does not determine your self-worth. If you have a ton of money, you have cash flow seamlessly coming in, and you have a big nest egg, and you have a huge net worth, and you're just walking around with all this money just finding you, following you, filling you up. That doesn't mean it's going to make you feel any more valuable on this planet. How do I know? Because I've counseled the biggest and the most savvy business owners and people that are incredibly driven in making money and good at it And they make a ton of it. And then they sit on my therapy couch. And they tell me that they're not happy. Not all of them, but many of them. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. You just told me your net worth. You just showed me your cash flow. Why aren't you jumping for joy? And that's because net worth doesn't determine our self-worth. How much money you have is irrelevant to what your importance is in this planet. I've had just as much fun talking to people who have no access to cash as I have to people with a ton of access to cash. So we gotta wipe away that you're not enough because you're not rich. Now I'm gonna do a little turnover. I'm gonna flip it on you, which is your self-worth does determine your net worth. That how you view yourself, how you view your capabilities, how you view yourself as a salesperson, how you view yourself as a marketer, how you view yourself as a business owner, as a creator of wealth, how you view all that and how you construct all that does influence, impact, and create the net worth, create the cash flow, create the ability to make money. So that's why much of tonight we're going to talk about your self-worth stuff when it comes to money. We're also going to talk about the little components to making money that people don't want to talk about because it's not flashy. It's not easy. I've never seen somebody be able to make a ton of money overnight who didn't work on the self-worth stuff. Because the ones that did make a ton of money overnight, that didn't get the self-worth piece right, boom, that money was gone. They spent it all. They lost it all. They invested it poorly. They put it with people in the wrong hands, and all of a sudden it was gone. Well, that's because they sprayed perfume on a ball of dog poo-poo, and they ran as fast as they could. But the universe doesn't appreciate that. The greater universe out here that we're going to just call the invisible force, it's always watching. And when we're working on things to create wealth, it's recording and responding to how we're creating it. Are there people that are unethical that make money? Yeah. Are there people that are unethical that are broke? Yeah. So I don't really see as like ethics has anything to do with changing out your experience with money. People tell me that all the time. Oh, money it'll change you. I'm going to give you a little shift on that mindset. And that is, money will reveal you. If you meet somebody and they were sweet and kind, and then they get a bunch of money and they become an asshole, they were already an asshole. They just covered it up with the fear that if they weren't nice, they wouldn't get by, and then all of a sudden they have access to a ton of cash, and they're like, screw you, and then all of a sudden we get to see what's been hiding below the surface all along. But if somebody is sweet and generous and caring and ingenuitive, and they then create wealth in their life, they're more sweet, they're more caring, they're more generous, they become more imaginative and ingenuitive, and it's because money reveals, some would say it amplifies, who we are. So I want to know, who are you? And what are you here to create for the human race? Because that's the next principle. So the first one was all about that your net worth does not determine your self-worth. That your self-worth determines your net worth. The next component is, what value were you born to bring the human race? Now I want you to think about that. What value were you born with? Or what value have you created throughout the course of your life that you're able to share with humanity to make wealth happen. Because wealth is about exchanging value for currency. And that's what is great about being in this time period is I don't need to go out and do a direct trade like, oh, I need a goat and you need some carpets, so we're going to trade goats and carpets. I mean, those days are behind us. We now say, okay, let's create value, and then we will exchange it for this thing called cash. And as you look at money as an exchange of value, you'll begin to ask the question, what more can I do to add value to the human race in exchange for money? And now you might be like, Sean, I so know this. I already heard this. Or I read the book Think and Grow Rich. Well, awesome. Great. We're just going to take those levels of awareness you already have and we're going to drop them down deeper. Because I've learned that when a master hears something and when a novice hears something, even if they hear the same thing, when they hear the same thing, the novice goes, ugh, I know that. And a master goes, thank you for the reminder. So I want you to write in the chat box that I want you to write what your value is. What is something that you know how to do? Or what is your product? Or what is your value proposition that you can bring to the planet that is worth a lot of money and that you are fine-tuning that exchange process here. So go ahead, think about it. If you need to take a little bit of time, that's fine. But type into the chat box, what is the value that you bring? What is the skill set that is of value to the human race? All right. Revolutionizing aviation. Wow. I know how to listen to others deeply. That's important. It really is. A lot of people don't know how to do that. Teaching people and empathizing. I am able to manifest happy outcomes and can teach and guide. Awesome. How to help others and make others happy. I do not know what value that I have. Trying to find this. That's fair. I synthesize information and understand from many different sources and create new understandings. Value is peace bringer. Giving compassion to patients as a nurse. It's good. My personal gift is being able to compile vast quantities of information, distilling down into teachable, easy-to-learn material. Motivate and encourage through my poetry and patience. Create something for animals. I bring laughter and love. Coaching other people with disabilities to see and manifest abundance. I know through a hard breakup, there is nobody else in the world that can be the person you are, so I love helping others to love the person they are, because nobody else has the opportunity to be you. Change agent, elementary school teacher. Awesome. So, we're starting to see that money is about creating value. And there's this next component that I want to talk about. Component number 3. And you'll have to keep me on track. Sometimes I confuse my numbers here. But component number 3 is you need to be aware of abundance versus scarcity mindset. Pay attention to abundance versus scarcity mindset. Abundant mindset believes that there's always enough. There's enough time. There's enough money. There's enough resources. There's enough energy. There's enough intelligence. There's enough creativity on this planet for each of us. That is an abundant mentality. And in business and in wealth creation, you need to be abundant, or you end up never creating wealth, or you create wealth that is tainted. You create wealth that is bad money, because you do it out of the next component, which is not abundance, and that is scarcity. You can ruin your life and the lives of others by acting from a place of scarcity. And this place of scarcity is believing that there's not enough. There's not enough time. I need it now. Oh my God, what if I don't get enough money for tomorrow? What if I don't get enough money for the rest of my life? What if I die alone and broke and under a bridge and Scarcity comes from fear. Abundance comes from love. Scarcity comes from staying in the chatterbox here. Abundance comes from dropping deep into the heart here. And I can tell you that when you are selling something, whether it's a product or a service, when you're partnering with somebody, when you're offering something, if you come from I sure hope they can get something out of this because I really need their money. Oh my goodness, I'm running out of money. I really hope that they buy this card tonight, or I hope they buy this yoga class or this product series because I need the money, I need the money, I need the money. People feel that. When you come from a place of scarcity, no matter how good of a pitch you have, no matter how great of a product you have, I mean, you could have the best product in the world, but if when you try to offer it, you're in a place of scarcity, they won't hear the details of your product. Because they'll feel that energy of scarcity, and they'll go, yeah, I need to go. This is why we need to be in an abundant mindset. Abundance is about knowing that you only want the right customers. You only want good money. So let's talk about good money versus bad money. Bad money drains you. Bad money is taking on a customer, taking on a project, taking on a job that sucks the soul out of you. Bad money, you end up kicking yourself. Why did I work with this person? I can't believe I dealt with this. Bad money, it's never worth it. And some people will be like, well, Sean, I need the money. Well, I know. But if you want to make really good amounts, you can't keep getting the bad money. Because the bad money you regret. When you regret making money, then the mind and the body begins to self-sabotage. And you'll get sick, or you will start forgetting things and self-sabotage and make mistakes and screw up and drop the ball. Because the mind is like, I don't want any more of this pain. Oh, I know how to get rid of it. By screwing up the deal. You want to make good money. And good money is what recharges you. It fills you up. Good money is when you work with a client who you would work with even if they didn't pay you, but you need the money and you want the money, so you're happy to take the money and experience the exchange of value. But there's so much fun, and you want clients and customers that you love interacting with, that you're proud to call your customers, your clients, your patients, whatever it is. You're just overjoyed, and you're humbled, and you're grateful for having those individuals in your life that are exchanging value with you. And I've made this mistake. I'm not trying to act holier than thou. I'm not going to tell you, I've never violated these principles. I have. I've taken bad money, and I always regretted it. I've had days in my life, back in the day, I've been at this thing for 22 years as wearing lots of different hats, basically an entrepreneur. Not basically, definitely an entrepreneur. An individual that is his own boss, charting his own course financially. And there have been times where I got scared. And I came from scarcity. And so therefore I took on customers that I knew would be a pain in the ass. That I took on projects that I knew I wasn't getting compensated properly. I knew that the project would be a hit on my overall well-being, whether that was mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. But I did it because I was convinced by the scarcity thinking that money was more important than anything. And that will just cramp you up. Especially if you're like, well, Sean, I need the money. You don't get it. My rent's due and I'm about to get evicted and blah, blah, blah. Stop. Wealth cannot be created enjoyably in fear. One of my mentors probably going on about 10 years ago, he said most people that try to make money and that don't know how and they're kind of making a bunch of mistakes, they act like their hair is on fire. And then they just start running as fast as they can. And they hit walls. And they fall down. And they're still scared because they're like, oh my gosh, my hair's on fire. And then they get back up and they run again as hard as they can in a different direction. They hit that wall and then they fall down. And he said, wealthy people that have already mastered the game of wealth, they act like their hair's on fire in a different way. And that is, they look around the room, and they find the door, and they go to the door, and they open it carefully, and they go outside, and they dunk their head in the proper water, and they remain calm. And so, even though there is the pressure on them, no different than a person that feels the pressure to pay their bills that's in a place of scarcity, wealthy, abundant mindset people know that it's important to make money. Know that it's of value to continue to exchange their gift with the world. They know that they have to make money to pay their bills and to create freedom and to create an opportunity to expand their gifts on this planet. But they do so not in a space of panic. If your panic takes over, you're hosed when it comes to selling something. You're hosed when it comes to marketing something. You're hosed when it comes to partnering and offering and experiencing and investing, because you're racing around as fast as you can, slamming into walls, not asking the simple question, where's the door? And how can I deliberately walk over to it, open it, and leave? So, as you think about wealth creation, I want you to think about being abundant and creating customer base and client base and exchange base with people that you feel fuel you up. They refuel you. They charge you up. You love talking to them. It doesn't matter if you're a life coach, a yoga instructor, an accountant, a lawyer, if you're a personal tutor, whatever it is. Even if you're working at another 9-to-5 company that is not your company, don't go looking for a company or looking for a position with people and opportunities that drain you. That you're just like, oh, I hate this. Because you're not going to flow with that. You're not going to create really good wealth. At best, you're going to create bad money. You're going to be drained. And at some point, you're going to be looking in the mirror, having your 5th cup of coffee just to get the day going. Maybe doing, illegal drugs to just get yourself through the day. And you're going to be miserable. And I don't want that for you. And you don't want that for you. And so, even though we're talking about wealth creation, we're talking about you need to take care of you. And you can't keep acting from a space of panic. It's not where wealth is created. So let's talk about the next priority. I'm going to test you. What number are we on now? So go ahead and type in the chat box what number we are on now. Number 4, yes. Number 4, wealth creation is all about two components. The first is the one that's usually the sexy one that people sell online because it doesn't need to be backed real well. But most people have no idea what's really going on. And the second is painful and no one wants to talk about. So I'll start with the painful one. And that is, to create wealth, you need hustle. And hustle is that ability to say whatever it takes. And when you have that hustle mindset, where you say, hey, whatever it takes, and you go after it with that whatever it takes mentality, that's hustle. If what it takes is getting up at 5 in the morning and going and like popping out of bed and starting your process, if that's what it takes, a hustler, and I don't mean that in a bad way, somebody who's willing to hustle, they do it. They put in the time. They put in the hard work, the blood, sweat, and tears. They roll their sleeves up. They are willing to go at it. The wealthy individuals that I know are hustlers. And that doesn't mean they're swindlers. I think people misunderstand that term. Hustle means they have that mindset of, hey, something breaks down in my business today, I got to drop my ego and I got to step in sometimes. Maybe, I know a friend of mine who is one of the best salesmen on the planet, and he oversees a big division of sales in a huge company now, and he's hustled since we were in college. This guy, when we were in the fraternity back in the day, his mentality was to the younger guys, look, I've done it all in this fraternity. I've been this position, and this position. And, if there's something that you guys are dropping the ball on, I'm going to step in. And I'm going to show you how it's done. And you're not going to like that because I'm going to show you I did a better job at it. So I'm willing to teach you, but you got to be willing to put in the work. And the same thing he brought to his company. The company he became like the director of sales in, he told his people, look, I've answered the phones. I've made the outbound calls. I've pushed the reports. I've done the profit and loss statements. I've looked at the numbers. I've stayed up late. I've driven the extra mile to get to the customer. I've over-delivered in the value. And so if something were to break down in his sales command, he would step in and show that person he could still do it. He can still take a shovel and put it down in the ground and start digging. Even though he doesn't need to anymore, he still can. Take a person like Papa John from Papa John's Pizza. He started that whole organization, that whole company that is big time money from his first pizza spot, his first pizza place, where he was making the pizzas. He was the delivery guy. He was the cook. He was taking the orders and ringing them up. So he grew it from the very beginning with that hustle mentality. And in business, if you don't want to do whatever it takes, you're not going to create the wealth. Now, it does get easier. Because as you hustle, you start inspiring people. And when you inspire people, others want to hustle for you. In exchange for value, you pay them. Whether that's assistants or project managers or sales teams or whatever. When you inspire people with your hustle, they hustle more. And they join you in your mission of creating wealth for themselves and for you. But hustle is not sexy. Look, I'm going to brag for a moment. If you want to be a phenomenal professional speaker, it doesn't have that much to do with the time that you're up on stage. It has everything to do with all the things that go on in the background. I just got back from Dallas, Texas, where one night I stayed up till 2 in the morning with a skeleton crew of people, and I pre-signed over 500 books. And you might be like, oh, Sean, that's not hard work. That's not like digging a ditch. I'm not saying it's like digging a ditch, but in my industry, if you want to create a customer experience that is amazing, you got to go the extra mile. So when my customer that hired me to speak to his company brought me in and said, Sean, we have ordered over 500 books for the book signing tomorrow, I said, well, why don't we I'll pre-sign the name on all of them personally, and then the next day when people buy the book and they walk over to me, all I have to do is sign their name to my book, and that way it becomes a seamless process and it's personalized to them, and we're able to move the time and move the line along. And they're like, wow, you would do that? The last guy didn't do that. The last guy just did a general signature and didn't personalize it. And I said, well, I'm not the last guy. I'm me. I go the extra mile. I do whatever it takes. So we stayed up till 2 in the morning and we laughed. I mean, look, hustle doesn't have to be painful. I make sure everything I do is fun. But in the hustle process, I had these books in an assembly line. I put it all together. I got help. I enrolled other people into the mission, but I sat there with a Sharpie, and for hours I signed my name over and over in each book. We actually have video, a time-lapse video, just showing me doing one box, and there were multiple boxes. And then the next day, after my speech, I left the auditorium and went to this separate room where then, one at a time, hundreds of people came over to me with a copy of their book, and I signed it personally to them. I wrote in their name, and I created a personal touch experience for just that person, as opposed to a general signature or stamp or have somebody else do it. And it's kind of sad to me that not everybody's willing to do that. Was I paid extra to do that? No. Did they ask me to do that? No. I just went above and beyond, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn or brag. Well, maybe a little bit, because I'm giving you an example of hustle. Another example of hustle that I have in my business is I'll meet somebody that is my customer who has hired me to speak to their company, and I reach out and I follow up with them. I see what's going on in their life. And I create an experience where they know I'm there to support them, not just their company. And is there a selfish motivation? Yeah, because no matter what they're doing, if they're amazing individuals, they're going to go on to another company potentially, or do something else, and they're going to want to keep working with me. But it's also because I went the extra mile. When you hustle, you say whatever it takes. When you hustle, you are thinking long game. You're not thinking about transaction. You're thinking about relationships. I don't care what industry you want to make money in. When I meet you and I work with you, I want to see how far are you willing to go with me. Are you going to drop the ball once or finish the game once we're done with the transaction? Are you going to keep pushing? One might say I'm hustling by doing this webinar because you bought an ebook and I said, hey, no, I want to give you more than an ebook. And so here we are, months after you probably purchased your ebook, and I'm having this conversation with you. And we're diving deep. So the first component is hustle. The next component is the one that's easy to sell, and that is the mythical, theoretical magic. And magic is everything from law of attraction to manifesting to prayer to just that invisible force that somehow shows up for some people and not others. And magic is easy to sell because you're like, let me teach you how to make money without any hustle. And they come out with movies like The Secret, which, by the way, I'm not bashing The Secret. If you've not seen it, check it out. There's a lot of good stuff to that. I'm all about magic. In fact, I'm better at magic potentially than I am at hustle. And magic is about belief in yourself. And magic is about knowing that the universe takes care of you. And it's about knowing that the universe always has your back. And when a person is tapped into magic, just unexplainable things happen. But that means you have to rid yourself of doubt. And that doesn't mean you're never going to doubt yourself, because you will doubt yourself potentially every day. I know I do. At times throughout the day I will doubt, can I do this? And that's why I have to stop, take deep breaths, visualize, and know that I'm competing with that doubt, and I drain that doubt out, and I say, hey, there's something greater here that's got my back. And I think it's really hard to create an abundant flow of cash if you believe that the only way to do it is hustle. And, one of my mentors, Gary Vaynerchuk, is an incredible example of hustle. And I asked him recently when I got together with him, I said, do you believe in magic? Do you believe that there's an invisible energetic force out there that you can tap into to create things that no one else can do? And he said, yeah, absolutely. But I don't know how to teach that. You probably do, Sean. And he's right. I do. I don't claim to be the hustle coach. I'm far more interested in the magic. Because magic will trump hustle in the money game. In creating wealth, you need to be in alignment with both. You need to stay realistic and roll your sleeves up and get to work. Get your fingernails dirty and go after it. Make the calls, ask for the sale, push the marketing thing. And it doesn't mean you got to be gross and slimy, but it means you got to be intense at times. And you got to push through the fear. But it also means you got to believe that there's an energetic force outside greater than you. And sometimes when hustle is not enough, that's when you got to get to that magical core. I'll give you an example. About 7 years ago, I came out with a new book called Get Off Your Butt. And I wanted to have the foreword written by Tony Robbins, because when I was a young boy, when I was 19 years old, more like a young man, a teenager, I asked Tony, if I ever wrote a big name book, would you write the foreword to it? Someday in the future, would you write the foreword? And he said yes. And fast forward from about, 7 years ago, I would have been 30. So from 19 to 30 is about 10 years, 11 years. 11 years later, I wrote the book. I got the publishing deal after years of hustling. You can't imagine the number of publishers that turned it down and literary agents that quit on the book. I mean, I got hustle stories for you. But finally, I get the deal. We're putting the book together. It's going to be a big published book in New York City, publisher. And I decided, okay, we're going to get Tony Robbins to write the foreword. And my literary agent and publishers are like, all right, you need to go get it. So I started reaching back out to Tony Robbins' people, because he's got layers of people. If you don't know who he is, he's one of the greatest motivational speakers alive, and probably the biggest name in the industry of self-help. And everybody was telling me no. Every contact I had into him, nope, he's not going to do that. Nope, he's not doing book signing. He's not doing book signing. He's not doing book forwards anymore. And no. And everywhere I turned, from trying to angle into his friends, trying to angle into this company, trying to angle in all this stuff, and it wasn't happening. And my publisher and agent, and even my own parents, they won't remember this, of course, but my own family and friends said, Sean, it's time you let this go. We need to find somebody else to write the foreword. And doggone it, I was stubborn for my own greatness. And I said, okay, hustle is not enough. I need to rely on magic. So I went to bed because it was my last night before I had to determine who was going to write the foreword for my publisher, because it was time to send to print almost. And I just let go of needing the foreword, totally detached, was ready to go with somebody else, but just knew, just heard that whisper that said, you can do this if you believe the universe has you. Sean, you're still alive after all these individuals have told you that you were going to die. All these individuals like doctors and experts said you're not going to make it. All these people that said you wouldn't ever write a book, or get a major publisher to pick it up, or a television show. I mean, you've proven everybody wrong. Sean, you know you can do this if you tap into the universe. So I had to drain all the doubt, and I had to see it happening. I had to see the foreword written at the beginning of that book. And I just had to reach out like this. Just put my hands out like this and say, whatever's out there listening to me, God, Jesus, Buddha, Allah, whoever you are, whoever is listening, whatever is listening, can you have my back right now? Can we make this happen together? And the next morning, I got an email. And you're not going to want to believe this because it's spooky. That's how it happened. And it's confirmed, so I have proof that it's happened. I get an email. And it says, hey, Sean, can you come over to my house? I need you to fix the subwoofer in my living room. Sincerely, Tony Robbins. Or Tony. And I'm like, what is going on here? And I get now that he was writing somebody in his address book that had the name Sean, maybe it was Sean Stevens or somebody that he had email contact with, and he thought I was his speaker repairman. So I immediately wrote him back, and I was like, oh my God, blah, 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 blah. And I told him what was happening with the publisher, and was he willing to write the foreword as he had promised earlier, when 11 years prior, and he said, absolutely, I love when this stuff happens, Sean, and it was this magical convergence of realities coming together. Deepak Chopra calls it synchro destiny, when his destiny and my destiny aligned and synchronized. And I showed up to my publisher, my parents, my friends, and I was like, I knew I could do it. And that's the magical component. You gotta believe that there's something else out there. You can be an atheist all you want. This isn't about God. This is about knowing that there's some energy around us at all times. You could be a quantum physicist if you want. But we can tap into something that some people call the field. And I don't have all the measurement tools, and I don't have all the proof to show you scientifically off my head, because that's not it's not my area of expertise. I just know it's there. You've had it happen where you think a thought about somebody and then the phone rings and it's them. You've had that in your life. You know you have, if you're being honest. And you just chalked it up to coincidence. And some of you know a lot about this. And you love this game of magic. But you can't just be all about magic. You gotta have it balanced. You got to have the hustle with the magic. I showed the universe I had done my part. And the universe did theirs. Did its part. And it was awesome. And I've had this happen over and over in my life. But you know what? You can't get the magic down if you're not right. If you aren't in great alignment with yourself, magic's not going to work for you. You're going to have to bust your ass over and over and over and be depleted, and still it may never be enough. You got to have both of these components present to make money. So we have a few more minutes to the hour that I said. The next thing that I want to talk about, so what number are we on now? Go ahead and type it in the chat box. Going to be a little elementary school teacher here for a moment. Kids, what number are we on? Number 5. That's actually my favorite number. I was born on the 5th month of the year, on the 5th day of the year. So I was a Cinco de Mayo baby. Still am. And number 5 is, to make money, you need to figure out what are your priorities. To create wealth in your life, you got to get your priorities straight. Because if you say, oh, I want to make a lot of money, but you're not willing to put in the time, you're not willing to do the research, you're not willing to get to know the mentors, you're not willing to do the hustle, and you're not willing to carve out the time to journal and maybe talk to a therapist or a coach to get rid of the poo-poo mindset you have around money, good luck. It's not going to happen for you. You got to prioritize wealth creation as a high priority in your life. If wealth creation is number 12 on your list of priorities, that's going to show in your income. Wealth needs to be up there toward the top. Because wealth is the ability to take care of yourself and those that you love. Wealth is a great thing that allows you to expand your creativity, exchange the value with the world. It also allows you to have freedom to do what you want, when you want, where you want, with whoever you want, for as long as you want. The more wealth you have, the more freedom you have. Wealth does not make you happy, but it sure as heck makes things run smoothly. And some things money can't buy, like romantic love. You can get you cheap love that's fake, but it won't get you that romantic love. But what wealth will do is wealth will create a nest that will make your nervous system, your brain, your DNA relax. We'll get rid of that scarcity that you're going to starve to death out of your brain. The more wealth that you get in alignment with, if it's quality, abundant, driven, good money-driven wealth, there and only there can the biology that is you begin to say, oh, there's a lot of meat in the cave. Or if you're vegan, a lot of veggies in the cave. The cave is protected and surrounded with safety. The cave is warm. The cave is filled with nice things that I can enjoy. Because at the end of the day, we're still animals. We're humans. And wealth is about making sure that you've stocked the cave well. So, which one are you going to take and run with? Which of these 5 components are you going to really dig deep on? Because if you're saying, just to close out the priority thing, if you say that you want wealth, but you're still watching lots of Netflix at night, or you're getting time to watch Dancing with the Stars, or or you're going to movies, or you're going to the bar, or you're doing things that are distractions from creating wealth, then don't tell me you want wealth. There are times that I work on weekends. Not weekends, I work on weekends. I meant holidays. There are times that I work on holidays. There are times that I have to make sacrifices that other people aren't, and that's why I've created the wealth that I have. And that's certainly how people create wealth, is they're willing to set it as a higher priority than just being comfortable. to have wealth, you got to be willing to stretch and grow. But to create wealth, you also have to surround yourself with the right mentors. And I want to continue to mentor you. This was just an hour. I could barely scratch the surface of everything that I want to share with you in your life to create wealth. And I can say the key to wealth, we're going to think about all the dreams, all the goals, all the things that you want when it comes to wealth. It's behind a locked door. So what's the key? The key is confidence, not arrogance. Not puffing your chest out and acting like you know what you're doing when you're really lost. Confidence, the ability to actually put in the time, to do the hustle, to create the magic, having the confidence to believe in yourself. And the key is confidence in life, and I want to help you be more confident in your reality. And that's what this program that I'm going to offer you tonight, I'm going to share with you about how to be more confident. Because about a few months ago, it was end of January, I held a live event called The Key is Confidence. And The Key is Confidence was it's a 10-hour video course. Actually, it might be up closer to 12, but it's definitely over 10 hours of video. And it was taken from a live event that I did on all the things that I've had to do to develop my confidence. Because confidence is the key to creating a great sales conversation. Confidence is the key to doing incredible presentations in front of others. Confidence is the ability to market yourself and your products and services and not be afraid. The reason why you got to have more confidence is because the right amount of confidence is going to push you through those doubts. So I'm going to give you a website. This website it's not really pretty. It's not filled with a bunch of sales copy to push you into something. It's just an order form. And here's what it's for. I have a 10-hour video course where I teach all the components to confidence. And I teach what is the deeper mindset to confidence. What are the rituals to develop your confidence? What kind of person do you need to surround yourself with? And what kind of person do you need to get rid of in your life? It's all the aspects to developing your confidence. And it's going to help you not just create wealth, but find that relationship, that loving romantic relationship, and also being able to get in great wellness when it comes to your health. To be able to have great connections with your family, incredible relationships with the people you work with, like your customers, your patients, your clients. Confidence is so very valuable. And in this course that I'm offering, this video course, you get 10 hours of video training with me. And it's awesome. People laugh their butt off in this course. They learn a ton. I've been told that this course was one of the most comprehensive courses on personal growth on the planet. And the good news is, I'm going to let you try out this course for 30 days. If you say, not worth it, you can get your money back. Because I'm confident that it is the best course out there on confidence. And I've taken many courses, and I've spent thousands of dollars a year to learn about how to develop my confidence, to look for those little tweaks. And you get the audio course is all the unconscious tools and mindsets that you're going to need. And they're together, complementary. They're complementary to each other. And so I'm going to give you the access to it. The audio course alone, I sell for $500 online. And what I'm doing is I'm packaging these two together. And I'm going to be selling them together for $295. But since you're on this webinar, and I want to give you a little bit of an incentive, as I'm going to offer to you it for $99 total. You'll get the deep hypnotic language in the audio course. It'll get to your unconscious mind about your confidence. And you'll also get all the instructional stuff in the video course. You'll get them both for 99 bucks. You go to tkic.safechout.net. I just put it in there. So that's HTTPS, because it's secure, colon, slash, slash, tkic.safechout.net. I want you to know I love you. I really do hope you spend your fun tickets on that confidence course. You know, you got 30 days to try it out. If it doesn't work, you don't like it, you have, issues with it, you think it sucks, I'll happily give you your money back. But it's going to rock your world, and it's going to be worth it. I really appreciate you being in my life. Thank you.